Hello? Can you guys hear me? You can type in the chat if you want. Or you can turn your audio on. Can you guys hear me talking? Just type in the chat if you want. Okay, perfect. Because I think by default you guys are all muted. Let me unmute you. And then if you want to mute yourself, you can. All right, you're all unmuted. If you want to mute yourself, you can. Because someone's got music on. Okay. All right, perfect. So we'll give it a minute. There's only 3 of you on here. See if we get a couple more people. But basically, I just wanted to go over the Blackboard course real quick, since we didn't have class tonight, and show you what I wanted you to work on before I see you on Monday. We only have this meeting, I think is only allowed for 40 minutes, and then this software supposedly is going to shut off on us, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to work on sharing my screen. All right, you guys should see the syllabus. Just lost my chat window with you guys. Hold on, where did it go? Okay. I got it back. All right, so you guys can tell me by chat, are you seeing the syllabus okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So from Blackboard, for those of you who are returning to me from Cisco 1, and this should look very familiar. If you're new to me and Cisco 2, just let me point out a couple things. You can read through the syllabus on your own. But as we look at my information, there is a link here to join up with an app called Remind. And Remind allows you to text with me without us sharing phone numbers. So you're basically by clicking on this link, you can join my class. And then it's the quickest way to get in touch with me. I can answer you real quick as it comes directly to my phone. My office hours are before our class on Monday, Wednesday, starting at 5, and sometimes they're earlier, but officially at 5, and on Tuesday, Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30. And then I'm online often, so you can catch me lots of times. But during those designated hours, I should be at my desk, and you can contact me by my office phone. Our class meets Monday, Wednesday, 5:45. As long as there is no snow, apparently. It took until now to get a snow day. I mean, it's taken all winter, so I guess we shouldn't complain. All right, so textbooks. If you want to purchase the physical textbook, you can. They're available at the bookstore. They're also available through Cisco Press. They're also available on Amazon and other places if you'd like to order them. There are 2, the companion guide, which is your concept textbook, and then the lab textbook, which has study guides, plus all the labs and packet tracers, the Word documents in this book. So it's nice to have if you like to have books to study from or read from, but all the material is in the online Net Academy, so you don't have to buy that. You guys should know that. Beyond that, let me just scroll down to how you're evaluated. All of the lab work, packet tracers, etc., that classwork that we do together is worth 40% of your grades. I don't do a point system, I do a percentage system. The online chapter exams that you take every chapter at Cisco Net Academy is worth 20% of your grade. And then the 3 pieces of the final, there's the Cisco piece, their final exam, the final exam that I rate that you take at Blackboard is 15%, and then the lab practical is 15%. That gets you to 100%. The accurate grade book is the one in Net Academy, and then Blackboard I update with all of the information from Net Academy at the end of the semester. Actually, usually by the time I get it over there, it's in there for record purposes, but you guys don't have access to the Blackboard course anymore, usually by the time I get that done. But the accurate current grade book is the one in Net Academy. That's where you should look to see your scores and your current grade. Attendance, we are in a face-to-face class. I expect you to be there every class. It's hard to miss the Cisco class and not be lost when you come back. But things do happen. If you know you're going to be out, let me know. Otherwise, the last day to withdraw from the class is the 27th of April if you feel that's something that you need or want to do. Just keep that date in mind. The rest of the stuff you can pretty much just read through. We're going to meet in the classroom, do our work. We have a lot of work to do at home, reading and text, and also some lab work to do. Cisco 2 doesn't have subnetting in it like Cisco 1 did, so that's not a big, huge chapter or 2 to go through, but we still do use that skill. There are 2 chapters that are probably the most challenging for students, and that is the VLAN chapter and the ACL chapter. The others are, I'm not going to say they're straightforward, but they're generally not as tough for students. All right, I have to stop sharing that screen if there's no questions, and then I'm going to share a different one. Any questions about the syllabus? All right, let me know if you think of something, and I will bring it back up. Now I'm going to share the schedule. Oh, you know what? Oh, there it is. All right, so here's your schedule. You can also find this in Blackboard. So what I want you to be working on is this chapter 1, which is really a good bit of a review of Cisco 1. So in Net Academy, the pre-test is enabled. I'd like you to take that. I'll show you in Blackboard where it lists all these individual items, but I'd like you to take that. Again, just like Cisco 1, I want you to take it and try it. Score doesn't matter, just want to see that you tried every question, and then I'll give you 100% for doing that. And then there's 2 packet tracers here for chapter 1, and there's a chapter exam. So I'd like you guys to try to get that stuff done, if at all possible, so we can talk about it. If you have any problems, we can certainly talk about it on Monday night, but at least give it a try and see if you can get everything accomplished from chapter 1 before the end of the day on Sunday. If you can't, you can't, but just let me know. Or we'll talk about it Monday night. The exams, the chapter exams, I turn on, they're on for the whole semester. So I put due dates on them just to keep you on schedule, but they're not going to turn off in Net Academy. So they will stay on for the whole semester. It's kind of up to you whether you do them now or you wait. So as you look through the schedule, I have the days and what we intend to do that day, chapter-wise. And the due dates in the blue column is for the lab assignments, and the exams are in the black, but they're the same dates this semester. Occasionally there might be something different. Like I see here is 4/15 and 4/18, and I don't know why that's different. That might be a typo. I'll have to look at that because that should just be the 15th. But there may be times when they vary, especially if we're doing like chapter 7, we do over 2 separate weeks. So there's a couple different due dates there. So just be mindful of that. Did you have a question? Okay. So spring, we have next week, and then we have spring break. So we no sooner get started and we have spring break. But the other things to note is when the final is going to be. The final's on May the 7th. That's the Monday night. I'm going to flip it from what I did in Cisco 1. So we're going to get the final exam out of the way on Monday. And then you'll have the remainder of the week to do your skills and everything else. I seem to be a little bit hurried this in Cisco 1. So try to give you a little more time to do that. Are there any questions about the schedule? Make sure I can see the chat. Okay. So now I'm going to share the Blackboard course. We'll look at that real quick. Where did it go? All right, let me find it. Okay. I think it's not showing up. It doesn't want to. Oh, I see what it's doing. I opened it up in a different browser, and it doesn't notice any browser other than the one that I'm using. So I'm going to have to open Blackboard again.
I ain't blocked that, you know.
Let me see what it's doing. So hold on a second. Just a second till I get into our course. And then I'll share it to you. I'm almost there. Okay. Okay. Now you guys should be able to see the Blackboard page. If you can't, just type it in the chat. Okay. All right, so here we are in Blackboard in our course. And again, for those of you who are returning to me, this should look familiar. For those of you who are new, I'll just do a quick run through because we don't have, like I said, I think it's a 40-minute max that we can be on Zoom. This is the home page. On the left side, you have Getting Started, which I would encourage you guys to go through this material and just make sure you read through it before I see you on Monday to see if there's any questions. It's kind of an overview of how the course is laid out. The instructor information is just repeated information about where I'm located physically and my contact information. The syllabus and the schedule are there, but the bulk of our work is done in the learning modules. So in the learning modules, there is an orientation folder, and I'd like you to go through those activities and then the week 1. So before I see you on Monday, please have gone through this orientation module. There's a lot of links in here. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, how to do different things. If you're familiar with how to do all this stuff, submitting stuff, seeing your grades, etc., then there's really nothing for you to look at there. Really, you can kind of start doing this stuff by looking at number 10, where it just says, like, read the syllabus and then read the schedule. Introduce yourself, which I want you to do, in the discussion board. There is an orientation assignment. You know what? I'm thinking that I didn't see that sitting down. Oh, there it is. With the wrong date. These are the ones that the dates I missed. All right, so let me get those dates fixed. The orientation assignment's just kind of a little check on whether you've read through the syllabus and you know, like, how to contact me. Everybody who needs to log into Net Academy into our course, make sure you have access there, and if you don't, let me know ASAP. You should already have Packet Tracer, but if you don't, make sure you install that. Or if it's been a while since you've been in Cisco class and you have the 6-point-something version, I would recommend you download the newer one, which is 7.1. And you're not an online course, so you don't have to do the practice exam. So again, there's a link to Net Academy. There's links to buying books from Cisco Press, and I just have to change the dates on these two items, the introducing yourself and the orientation assignment, which take after you've read through the syllabus material. And then if you need to know where to find Packet Tracer, how to find that. So once you've looked through the orientation module, then I want you to move on to module 1 under learning modules. And this is module 1, week 1, and it's just the first chapter. So the first chapter, as I mentioned, is largely a review of everything you learned in Cisco 1. So here I ask you, well, 1, I tell you about what the chapter is about, and number 2 is the learning activities. So what you should do to learn the material, reading through the chapter, checking out the PowerPoint, and actually Cisco just released new PowerPoint presentations for all their courses. So these are brand new. There's a brand new PowerPoint there. I did post a video below, which I'll show you. And then in Net Academy, they have a chapter quiz and a chapter terms and concept practice for each chapter in Net Academy. If I have time, I'll go over to Net Academy and show you that if you haven't seen it before. And then this white space I cannot get rid of. Here's a chapter video that is with the new material. It's a version 6 material, but it doesn't have the new PowerPoint in it that I recommend that you watch on YouTube. And then just the assignments. So the pre-test on Net Academy, and then 2 packet tracers. And again, I have notes in here, and if you're new to me, you don't may not have experienced this before. So I put notes in here of things that we have discovered about these packet tracers or lab assignments that are kind of unusual, or things that were quirky and we figured out a fix for them. So make sure you read through the notes. There's never usually very many, just a few things to make sure you read before you do the assignment. And then I will also tell you whether I need you to turn in the packet tracer file or the packet tracer file in the Word document or just the Word document. So make sure you check there and you just attach them when they're finished and send them in right here in Packet Tracer. Don't submit anything over into Net Academy. It all comes into Blackboard. I transfer the grades over to Net Academy. So you have the 2 packet tracers in the chapter exam. At the bottom here, there is a study guide. The study guide is not assigned. It's just here for you to use to help you study, to help you get through the chapter materials, to know what Cisco is kind of focusing on. And then I recommend you use them when you're preparing to take your quiz. So it's just there for to help you, nothing that you have to turn in. So those are the assignments I'd like you to get done, if at all possible, by end of day on Sunday. Does anybody have a question about this module, module 1? All right, perfect. Let me try to log into Net Academy because I had that open up in a separate window as well, and I might just be able to go in right here. Let's see. I know Net Academy doesn't work super well in Internet Explorer. I'll give it a try. Okay, so here's you guys. All right, so once you're in Net Academy, if you go to modules, you should see the pre-test there. Of course, the chapter exam, launching chapter 1 takes you to the textbook. But the practice things that aren't graded are right here. Chapter 1, terms and concepts, and chapter 1 quiz. So both of these are just practice material, learning materials, nothing that's going to affect your grade. So if you want to have some extra practice or things to help you get ready for the quiz, these are the things I recommend that you look at. Of course, launching a chapter, you can do it here, or you could do the launch from that splash page when we came in. All right. So pre-test, chapter exam, obviously read through the chapter materials. I'll show you the categories in chapter 1. So in chapter 1, we have a repeat of the router config. Again, I don't believe there's anything new there. This is all just stuff that you did in Cisco 1. You're just seeing it again. Remembering the routing table, the difference between static and learned routes. And one thing about Cisco 2, oops, I need for that to happen, is we spend a lot of time, here we go, talking about, and this is IE, so this picture isn't going to show up, talking about router-to-router communication. It's one of the big focuses of Cisco 2. So learning when you have 2 or more routers, how they exchange information when we're not statically assigning IP addresses for remote networks, but actually their routing tables are shared and best paths are learned and calculated. So there's several different what we call routing protocols that are out there and can be used, and so we'll use a couple of them in Cisco 2. You get some more of them in Cisco 3. So we'll start working on that. So that's how it's largely different from what you did in Cisco 1 in that regard. We did everything statically in Cisco 1, and that won't be the case here. All right, so let me see, what's my timing wise? Okay, 6:20, we did pretty good. So does anybody have a question about anything that I have showed you at all? So the syllabus, the schedule, Blackboard, Net Academy, anything at all? Just type it in the chat because everybody's muted at this point. Okay, I stopped sharing, so. All right, so nothing, no one has any questions. You all feel pretty comfortable with what I'm asking you to do? Okay. Well, if you think of something, let me know. Again, I encourage you to sign up for Remind so that you can text with me. And otherwise, send me an email and Blackboard messages, and let me know what questions you have. And very imperative that everybody's in that Net Academy class. And if you're not, let me know so I can get that fixed. Okay? Well, if there's no questions, guys, then we're going to stop here for tonight. And I thank you for joining me on Zoom. And I'll see everybody on Monday. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
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 That's why we was playing 2K. I was